today we will start the very basic of the endocrine system. Okay, and this system already you know about this system, right? Still we'll have a clear idea about what is this system and how it is acting in our body, right? So as you know that this endocrine system, it is a collection of glands, right? And these glands, they secrete variety of hormones. For that it is specialized, right? So these hormones, whenever it will be produced from these glands, they will travel to a specific target organ through the blood. Okay, or you can say it will go to the targeted area through the or via the blood stream. Okay, if we'll compare this endocrine system with the exocrine system, you can observe that the exocrine, it has the ducts, right? So through that duct, the whatever the hormones will be released from that gland, or enzyme will be released from that gland, that will be poured in the targeted or over the targeted area or over the targeted cell directly through the duct system. Okay, but endocrine, here it is no duct, it is the ductless gland. Okay, that you have to remember. So what happens, this endocrine gland or this endocrine system, it acts all over the body, not only a specific part of the body, right? That's why if you will find in the endocrine gland, if you will find the duct. Okay, suppose you just think about, if there will be the duct system in the endocrine system, then what happens, right? uh, you will see that one of the endocrine gland is present in your brain, no? That is, you can say, the take example of pituitary gland. So that pituitary gland will have a long duct, no, to reach at the ovary, another long duct to reach at the adrenal part, another duct to the thyroid, no? So it will make so many complications, right? So to avoid this, what nature has done, now whatever the hormones will be released from these endocrine glands, they will be poured inside the, what is that, your blood vessel. Okay, in that blood vessel they will carry the hormones to the targeted cells, right? And these hormones, they have the specific function, right? Such as your regulating growth, your metabolism, no, the temperature, and the reproductive development. Okay, so many things that we'll see. So here in this picture you can see that these are the list of endocrine glands, main important endocrine glands that is present in human body, right? And recently we have made another endocrine gland. What is that gland? Who can say? We know that there is the endocrine gland. They are mainly the pineal gland, pituitary gland, thyroid gland. Okay, you will find the thymus, the adrenal gland. Okay, and the islets of Langerhans, ovaries, testes, all these things. But recently we have discovered another organ that also acts as a endocrine gland. Who can say? Gastric
Gastric
mucosa.
mucus.
Okay, you know that this gastric mucosa, they releases, who can say what it releases? It releases the gastrin, right? Okay, it releases gastrin. Okay, here also will find the gastric inhibitory, gastric inhibitory polypeptide, polypeptide. You okay? So what is that? Gastric mucosa, recently we have developed it as a what is that? Endocrine gland. Okay, endocrine gland. Okay, because it releases the gastrin, it releases the pepsin, no, it releases the secretin, right? In another, what is the secretin? Okay, so all these hormones, they are released from this gastric mucosa. Okay, that's why we are considering this is also a, what is that, endocrine gland. So like the nervous system, this endocrine system that acts as a signaling pathway, no, you know that nervous system means what? Whatever the signal will come from the brain, okay, whatever the order will come to the targeted area. Suppose here you want to contract the biceps muscle, right? Then the pathway from the brain will be come towards through the brachial plexus to the biceps brachii, so that biceps brachii will contract and the action will takes place, right? Like that. So what doesn't mean that this brain, it gives signal to the biceps brachii to contract, no, through this what is that, nerves. Like that, whatever the hormones are there, right? Though these hormones are coming through the bloodstream, okay, still they act as a, what is that, signaling uh, system, right? You can say signaling pathway. They are the signaling pathway. Okay, through, what is that, bloodstream. Okay, but the nervous system signal, they are coming through nerves, right? They are coming through nerves. So this is only the two difference. Here the endocrine, its pathway is bloodstream, and the impulses of the brain to the targeted area will be through the nerve. Okay, so these two things. But here you have to remember that these hormones, what is that, endocrine hormones, endocrine uh, hormones, they act as a inhibitory, okay, inhibitory to, what is that, nerve impulses. Okay, so when the endocrine hormone will increase, it will inhibit the nerve impulse. Okay, they are opposite to each other. Okay, so if the signal of the brain, it want to give a strong signal to the biceps brachii, okay, then the signal or the impulse will travel through the nerves towards this. Okay, but if at that same time the hormone, okay, if it will release, then it will inhibit the impulse of this nerves. Okay, so that the effect of this nerve impulse on the targeted muscle or organ or cell, that will be decreased. Okay, so they are opposite to each other. Okay, so uh, the endocrine signal, that is either coming from the pituitary, okay, or that will come from the thyroid or from the pineal, whatever it is, they can last from a few hours to few weeks only. Okay, because the main control center for all these organs in the endocrine system, that is at the hypothalamus. Okay, where is that hypothalamus? Here is your hypothalamus, right, at this point. Okay, this is your hypothalamus. That means what? Here we will find, this is your brain. Okay, so this is your frontal lobe. Okay, here is the occipital lobe. Okay, and here you will find the temporal lobe, and this is your parietal lobe. Okay, and at this area, here you will find a ventricle. Okay, so this ventricle is your, what ventricle? This is third ventricle. Okay, this is your third ventricle, right? So this third ventricle, that is surrounded by What is that? Gray matters. Okay, what is the gray matter? Gray matter is nothing but the collection of cell bodies, right? So here you will find there is the presence of gray matter surrounding to this third ventricle, okay, from both the lateral side, from the anterior side, and at the base, right? So this area will be known as your, what is that area? Hypothalamus. Hypothalamus, right? And from here you will find there is the, what is that? Posterior pituitary, okay, and here you will find the anterior pituitary, okay. So this is your pituitary gland, okay. This is the posterior, otherwise known as your neurohypophysis, okay. Physis means gland, hypo means below, okay, below to the hypothalamus, okay. And neuro, it is because this area, okay, posterior area or the posterior part of the pituitary gland that actually developed from the hypothalamus, okay. It is just descending downward, okay. And this is the pituitary stalk, right. And here this part, it is actually developed from the oral cavity, okay. From the oral cavity, one of the pouch, see this is, if you, the oral cavity, okay. So from this oral cavity, one outpouching will be ascend upward, okay. And this ascending upward part is known as your Rothkes pouch. Rothkes pouch, okay. So this Rothkes pouch, it ascends upward and it is going towards the neurohypophysis. Then what will happen? The detachment will be there from the oral plate, okay. This is the oral plate, okay. So it will detach from the oral plate and this remaining part will attach to this neurohypophysis, okay. And so this part will be known as your adenohypophysis, okay. So this adenohypophysis, it is derived from the, what is that? Rothkes pouch, okay. Whereas the neurohypophysis, it is derived from the hypothalamus, means it is the nervous tissue, brain tissue, okay. And in between these two, here you will find the intermediate zone, okay. The junction between the neurohypophysis and the adenohypophysis, there you will find the intermediate zone, okay. So all these glands, they secrete variety of hormones, okay. Main function of this gland is what? They will produce the hormone, right. And these hormones, they will travel to the specific, or you can say the targeted organ via this blood stream, right. That then you know that these endocrine signals, okay, they will they will be there in your body. If once the hormone will be secreted, then what will happen? That may remain in your body for few hours to few weeks, okay. You can say it remains in your body few hours to week, okay. Means it remains maximum up to 7 days or some hours, okay. That will be there in your bloodstream, and at that time it will affect and it will target the targeted organs, right. And all these main control center for the organs of the endocrine system is your hypothalamus and the brain, okay. That is the field of what is that? Neural part. So that neural part only, it controls all the endocrine system. So up to now what we have learned the endocrine system. So at this point mainly we will focus over the, we will see the structure of the pituitary gland, then we will see the hormones or the hormonal control of the pituitary gland, okay, on the other endocrine system, okay. Then we will know histological structure of this pituitary gland, okay. We'll see details over here right now. So see here, these endocrine that actually includes the glands, that example here pituitary, suprarenal gland, the thyroid gland. I am writing the main points over here, okay, and the parathyroid gland, and we will find the pineal body, okay. uh, then we will find the masses of cells, right. So these masses of cells, that you can take one example, that is your endocrine part of the pancreas, okay, and the testis and ovary, okay. So why I am telling you, because this testis, ovary, pancreas, they are actually not a specific gland, inside that you will find the mass of cells, okay, and some scattered cells also you will find inside the endocrine. What they are? That scattered cell that is all over the body, okay. uh, who can say this APUD cell? What is this APUD cell? Okay. So all these endocrines, they have no ducts, but they are fenestrated into the capillaries or the blood sinusoids to carry the hormones directly to the targeted uh, organ through this bloodstream, okay. Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. Then first we will see the pituitary gland. Okay, so as you know that this pituitary, otherwise known as your hypophysis cerebri, okay, is known as hypophysis cerebri or cerebri, you can say, right, the same name, whatever the pituitary and hypophysis, right. So it is present in the base of the skull, right. uh, and that connected to the hypothalamus by infundibulum. What is this infundibulum? That is the pituitary stalk, right? Or infundibulum stalk, right? Stalk, the connector between the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland, and it is mainly formed of you can see here mainly the adenohypophysis, okay, and another is your neurohypophysis. So this adenohypophysis that develops from oral ectoderm, okay, is a upward growth, what I have told you in earlier, from the roof of your oral cavity, okay, upward growth will be there, okay, that forming the Rothk's pouch. But the neurohypophysis they develop from the neuroectoderm. This is a short question, means MCQ, that develops from ectoderm, okay, and this is from neuroectoderm, okay, that is oral ectoderm, and here this will travel downward growth from the floor of your diencephalon. What is diencephalon? The hypothalamus, and both components unite to each other to form the pituitary gland, okay. The pituitary gland, that is, we will classify it as a adenohypophysis that develops from oral ectoderm. This is the neurohypophysis that develops from neuroectoderm, okay. Now this adenohypophysis, it has the pars tuberalis, pars distalis, and pars intermedialis, okay, three parts. So this pars tuberalis and distalis, they are known as your anterior lobe, okay. Pars tuberalis and the pars distalis unitedly known as anterior lobe. Like that, neurohypophysis will divide into two, as a pars nervosa and the infundibulum or the pituitary stalk. So the pars intermedialis and the pars nervosa known as your posterior lobe, okay, and infundibulum is the connector, no, between this hypothalamus and the now see, this is your you can see over here, just I am drawing here as a hypothalamus pouching out, okay, neuroectoderm, okay, this is neuroectoderm. You can see, right, this is the floor of your diencephalon, right, means the uh, mm, hypothalamus, no, part of the hypothalamus, and here you will find this is the oral ectoderm, okay. See, this is your oral ectoderm, right, this whole part oral ectoderm. So from the oral ectoderm, pouch is going upward, okay, and the diencephalon pouch, that is going downward. Now they will unite, So here you can see this is your roof of mouth, and this pouch is your Rathke's pouch, the red one, right? Okay. Now how it will see this is the neural part, means diencephalon. Right now these two parts they united, no, and they make like this, like that. This pouch, see, it is also unite like this, right here, and that will detach from this roof of the mouth. Okay. Now you can see this part, what I have marked deep orange, that is the intermediate zone, pars intermedia, and this orange part, okay, that is the which lobe, your anterior lobe, okay, adenohypophysis, and the black one, it is the neurohypophysis, okay, or you can say it is the actually pars nervosa. This is pars nervosa, and this is your pars tuberalis, okay, pars tuberalis, and this is your pars intermedialis, okay. So here you can see, it is the pars dorsalis, right? Okay. Now you see here, what is that? Here you can see this is your pituitary gland, right? So here you can see this is your hypothalamus, right? This hypothalamus is there, and you can see here the optic chiasma, okay, and at this point you can see this is your midbrain, okay. One minute. Okay, so this is your midbrain, okay, and this is your pons, and here you will find the medulla, okay. And what is this? This is the body of the sphenoid, okay. This thing is the body of the sphenoid. This is the sphenoidal air sinus, right? याद आ रहा है? Sphenoidal air sinus, okay. So just above to that, what is this? This is the sella turcica, no, this is the posterior clinoid process, and this is your, what is that, hypophysis cerebri, that fossa for the hypophysis cerebri, and this is your anterior clinoid process, okay. So total is your sella turcica. Over that you will find this gland, okay. This gland is your pituitary gland, right? So this pituitary gland, you can see that this top, okay, that is a part of your what, pars nervosa, right? At this part, no, this is the development, and here you will find this anterior part, okay, that is actually from the oral ectoderm, and this part is your, what is that, pars intermedialis, okay. So in this way you will find the structure of your pituitary gland, right? Now we will see that how this okay, what we will do, before all these things you should know first the common things, right? So that it will be easy for you, that this, first you see the hypothalamus, right? So no hurry, just we will learn nicely, okay. We will see about the hypothalamus, okay. So this hypothalamus, that is present over where? It is present at the brain. Which part of the brain? At the base of the brain, okay. And from that what comes out? That is the pituitary gland, okay. Now this pituitary gland, it comes out is the pituitary gland, okay. So at this pituitary gland, what will find anteriorly to this hypothalamus, what will find? You will find the anterior commissure. Okay, anterior commissure. Commissure. Along with that, we'll find the lamina terminalis. Lamina terminalis. Okay. Now question is, what is this lamina terminalis? Right. Okay. So you know that this nervous system whole that actually develops from a tube. Okay. What is the tube? This tube is known as your neural tube. No, it develops from a tube. The tube is your neural tube. Okay. So it is the anterior end and it is the posterior end. Okay. So this anterior end that actually makes a thickened part over here. This thickened part is known as a lamina terminalis, and this posterior end that makes your what is that, the tail of your spinal cord. No, what is that? Yes, you can say the conus medullaris, right? Have you heard about this? Conus medullaris, the
No,
terminal end of the spinal cord. Okay, this is the spinal brain and this is the spinal cord. No, so this terminal end of the spinal cord will be known as your conus medullaris. Okay, so this tube, it will develop to this thing. No, it will develop to brain and spinal cord, right? And this part will be known as your conus medullaris. Okay, and this part means at this point you will find there is the lamina terminalis. Okay, that will study later on, just to remember about the lamina terminalis. Okay, so the hypothalamus, that is actually like this. Okay, that is like this. It is a this shape, right? So this is your anterior, and this is the lateral, and here you can see this is what, posterior, right? At this point you'll find a gland over here. What is this gland? Who can say what is this gland? Okay, here you'll find the pineal gland. Okay, and at this point you'll find the thalamus. Both the side you will find the thalamus. Okay, and uh, just from the thalamus you will find two things are coming in this way. Okay, what is this? This is the optic chiasma. Okay, that is known as your optic chiasma. Okay, so this optic chiasma, it is related to anterior part of your hypothalamus. Okay, and here only you will find a thickening, and this thickening will be known as your lamina terminalis. Okay, and from this is what, we have removed the roof, so this is the floor. From this floor, what is that, stalk of the pituitary gland will come down. Okay, what is that, infundibulum, right? And that will make here as a, what is it, adenohypophysis, and here you will find the, what is that, sorry, this is neurohypophysis, and this is your adenohypophysis, right? So the anterior relation of the hypothalamus is anterior commissure. Okay, and the optic chiasma over here, and the lamina terminalis. Okay, and posteriorly you will find here there is a gland. Okay, this gland is the pineal gland, which is also, what is that, that is also endocrine system. Okay, what is its function? If you will see the function of this hypothalamus, okay, function, it is actually produces, or yes, it produces releasing and inhibiting hormones. Okay, it produces releasing and inhibiting hormones, right? Okay. So what we'll find, if we'll see whether that hormones, uh, whatever it is released from this hypothalamus, so this pituitary, it is nothing, it is only the, you can say, the reservoir of the hormone. Okay, this is a reservoir of hormone. Actually, who works? Hypothalamus is working. Okay. uh, so you know that this neurohypophysis, it will only release two hormones, no, that is your oxytocin, okay, and another one is your antidiuretic hormone. Okay, so this neurohypophysis, it releases only two hormones. What is that? That hormone is your oxytocin hormone and the antidiuretic hormones. Okay, so here these hormones that whatever released from this hypothalamus, that will affect the pituitary gland. Okay, and mainly the antidiuretic hormone, corticotropin releasing hormone. Okay, so the, you can see this anterior part, or you can say the adenohypophysis. Okay, that maximum it releases the tropins. Okay, okay, means your tropic hormones. Okay, so these tropic hormones, that may be your gonadotropin releasing hormone. Okay, the growth hormone releasing, okay, GHR, no. So these are the releasing hormones, right? What are they? Corticotropin hormone, okay, anti-diuretic hormone, your gonadotropin releasing hormone, they are the releasing hormones. Okay, uh, so this hypothalamus, it produces two types of hormones, they are the releasing hormones and the inhibitory hormones. Okay, so these releasing hormones, they are either it will be, what is that, anti antidiuretic hormones, or that may be your corticotropin hormones, corticotropin hormones. Okay, or you can say it may also release the gonadotropin releasing. Okay, gonadotropin releasing. So just I am writing in small. Okay, gonadotropin releasing hormone. Okay, and also it produces the growth hormones. Okay, growth hormones. So these are what? These are the releasing hormones. Okay, like that it also produces the inhibitory hormones. Okay, so these inhibiting hormones, that maybe the oxytocin will be there. Okay, your prolactin releasing hormone. Okay, and the that inhibiting will be your thyrotropin hormone. Okay, oxytocin, thyrotropin. Okay, all the tropins, okay, they release from the anterior side. Okay, from this anterior side. Okay, and only two hormones from the posterior side, but all these hormones, they are actually influenced and produced by this hypothalamus. Okay, uh, like that, here you'll find this pituitary gland. Okay, so this pituitary gland, it remains inside the pituitary fossa. Where is the pituitary fossa? I told you about that, what is that, sella torsica, there you'll find the fossa for what is that, fossa for hypophyseal cerebri, right? So there you'll find this pituitary gland. Okay, all hormones, they are releasing from the hypothalamus. Okay, and these hormones, they produces either releasing hormone or the inhibiting hormone that will affect the pituitary gland. Okay, and these hormones are antidiuretic hormone, corticotropin releasing hormone, gonadotropin releasing hormone, growth hormone. Okay, they are the releasing, and you will find also growth hormone inhibiting. Okay, GnRH and GHIH, right? So growth hormone, growth hormone means GH releasing hormone means GHRH and GHIH. Okay, so growth hormone two types, one is growth hormone releasing, another is growth hormone inhibiting. Okay, like that you will find the prolactin releasing hormone and prolactin inhibiting hormone. Okay, PRH and PIH. Like that another releasing is your thyrotropin releasing hormone. Now come to this hypophysis. So this hypophysis, that is actually present at the pituitary fossa, and that from this pituitary fossa or from the sella turcica, it is connected to the hypothalamus by the, what is that, infundibulum. Okay, what is that infundibulum? That is the pituitary stalk. Okay, here you can see this is your infundibulum. Okay, pituitary stalk over there, and the structure mainly the adenohypophysis and the neurohypophysis, and the function of this pituitary gland, it actually produces the stimulating hormone. Okay, it produces stimulating hormone. Okay, that will affect to the endocrine glands of the body. Okay, endocrine glands of all the endocrine glands of the body. Okay, that's why this pituitary, though it is a stimulating organ for all the endocrine glands, that's why that is known as your, what is that, master of the all endocrine glands. Okay, so this pituitary, it produces the stimulating hormone, and that stimulating hormone will control all the endocrine glands. Okay, and these hormones, that is either from the adenohypophysis or it will be from the neurohypophysis. Okay, what is that? That is the oxytocin, sorry, oxytocin. Okay, and also it releases the anti-diuretic hormone. Okay, now come to this one. Okay, what is this? This is the adenohypophysis. So this adenohypophysis, that actually produces the human growth hormones. Okay, it releases the human growth hormones. Okay, and also it releases the thyroid stimulating hormones. Okay, all the tropin hormones. Okay, thyroid stimulating hormone, and also it releases the follicle stimulating hormones. Okay, and also it releases the luteinizing hormones. Okay, luteinizing hormones, and also it releases the prolactin hormone. Okay, and sorry, prolactin hormone. Okay, PRL hormone, PRL hormone, and it also releases your adenocorticotropic hormone. Okay, that is in simply it is known as ACTH. Okay, ACTH hormone. Okay, and also here it releases your melanocyte stimulating hormone. Okay, that means it is MSH. Okay, MSH. Okay, so these are the two types of hormones that releases from the both two types of your pituitary gland. Okay, one type is your developed from the neural part, one type is developed from the oral part. Okay, So neural part that releases the oxytocin and ADH, but the adenohypophysis, which is developed from the ectoderm, okay, that releases many hormones, and all these hormones are the stimulating hormones. That means, suppose here the melanocyte stimulating hormone will release, okay. So what will happen? See, this melanocyte hormone, if it will release, it will go towards the, what is that, blood capillaries, right? Here will find the blood capillaries, right? So these hormones, they will go towards the blood capillaries, and here these are actually lined by the endothelial cells, okay. So what will happen during the vasodilation? These hormones will enter into the bloodstream through this, what is that, fenestrated endothelial cells to the bloodstream, and from this bloodstream they will reach at the targeted cells. Where is the targeted cell? That target cell will be your skin, right? You will find the skin, okay, and on inside the skin you will find the melanocytes, okay. So these melanocytes, that will be triggered, okay, that will be triggered by this melanocyte stimulating hormones, so that the proliferation of the melanocytes will increase inside the skin and will cause the appearance, okay. What is that? Dark appearance, right?